Hi, my name is Jerry Zarnowski, and I'm here today to instruct you in the proper way to don a full body harness. But before we get into the harnesses themselves, a quick look at some statistics. Out of 4,674 worker fatalities in private industry in the calendar year 2017, 971 or 20.7% were in construction. That is 1 in 5 worker deaths last year were in construction. The leading cause of worker deaths in the construction industry was falls. 381 out of 971 deaths were from falls. That's 39.2%. That's a pretty high statistic. It's always a good thing to remember that gravity never leaves us. And if we step off of a plank, off of an elevated surface, and we don't have fall protection, we're gonna go down. Gravity is always there. It's another statistic that these deaths are slowly decreasing, and why, you might ask? The answer is training. The more training a worker has in hazard awareness, training in hazard awareness is the very best way to keep workers safe. Fall protection, as the name refers to, is a protection against falls or falling. Fall protection systems can be anything that prohibits a fall, for example, guardrails, safety nets, or personal fall arrest systems. Components of a personal fall arrest system include an anchorage capable of holding 5,000 pounds, a lanyard or a lifeline attached to a full body harness. And what we're going to do today is we're going to teach you how to put on a full body harness the correct way. I'll demonstrate the proper procedures of sizing, inspecting the harness, the components, proper donning and adjusting, the use of suspension trauma straps in the event of an emergency, and proper care and storage of the harness. Upon completion of the demonstration, we'll break up into groups and proceed into the workshop where we will go to the fall protection area and pick up our harnesses. You guys will all size them, make sure that you select the proper harness for you. If you're a really small person, you're not going to go and grab an extra large. You're going to want to grab either a small or a medium. Conversely, a large person is not going to fit into a small or a medium. And then what I'll do is I'll watch you guys and see how you guys put your harnesses on, and make sure that you don't leave any steps out along the way. There's important steps that you have to remember. So let's get into it. This is a full body harness, which one of our gracious contractors donated to us. It consists of nylon straps. It has some padding. It has some buckles. It has some D-rings. These little packages here are suspension trauma straps, and I'll explain them in a minute. First off, what you want to do when you grab your harness is you want to inspect it. You want to make sure that it's in good shape. Rules for harnesses are that they must be inspected each time before each use. So let's just say you get your harness and you grab it in the morning, you inspect it, you put it on, you wear it all day long, you inspected your harness once during the day, which is fine, because you know that it was good when you put it on, you know nothing happened to it. If you get to the job in the morning, you inspect your harness, you look at everything, make sure that it's good. Break time comes, it's heavy, you want to take it off, you set it down. You go after break, you go to pick it up, you have to inspect it again, because something might have happened to it while you were at break. Somebody might have came by, the mason could have come by and spilled some muriatic acid on it, or somebody could have been welding it up above or cutting up above, and sparks could have fallen on it, and it could have been burnt. Every single time you lay it down, the next time you pick it up, you have to inspect it again just to make sure that it's in good shape, because it can and it might save your life. It's very, very important. So what you want to do when you start inspecting, you want to go over the nylon straps, go make sure that you run your hands over them, check it out. This strap right here looks like it has a couple of tiny little burn marks, which are just superficial, but I'm going to overlook that. Go over the straps, make sure that they're good. Everything looks very good. Okay. You have to inspect your D-rings. Make sure the D-rings have no cracks in them. Okay. There's 3 D-rings on this harness. I'll explain why in a short while. Your lanyards, these are self-retracting lanyards, and when you have self-retracting lanyards on your harness, you also have to check them. This one's not working quite right. So we're just going to say that we're going to write this down, and we're going to take this out of service once I'm done with it. This one here works really good. When you have straps like this also, you need to take these out all the way, and then run it through your hand nice and slowly, and make sure that there's no cuts, tears, abrasions. Okay? You have these little folds in your straps, and what these little folds do is, these are indicators, these are fall indicators. If someone has had this strap, this harness, and has fallen with it, these little seams will open up, and you'll see where the stitching was, and you'll know that someone has taken a fall in this. And what you need to do is you need to take this out of service right away, and it needs to get inspected by a competent person to see if it can ever go back into service again. All the straps look good, D-rings look good, belts look good. This is a fairly new harness, so I don't really have to worry too much about it. Okay, the best way to put a harness on, now this one I've sized this for myself already. This is a medium large. Okay, where you find that on the harness has this little packet, and you open it up, and inside are all the tags. And it'll say size, medium large, and it'll have a little inspection log in there also, a date and the initials of the person that inspected it. Does anybody know if a harness has an expiration date? No, harnesses don't have expiration dates. The reason why are, if you buy a harness and you keep it in a dark closet or a box, and it stays in its original shipping package, in its plastic bag, whatever it came in, and it's in a dark closet, that harness could conceivably be good forever if you don't use it. So that's why we don't put expiration dates on them, because you might have a brand new one that you never use, and it's in a closet and you've taken really good care of it, and now it's expired and you got to get rid of it. So that's the reason why. And it's also one of the reasons why you have to inspect it every single time you put it on, because you can have a brand new harness, and these little tiny burn marks that are in this strap here might be structural, and they might go through the webbing, and this might be bad. So that's what we have to always take into consideration. Again, it's retractable here. Well, now it's working, but it wasn't working before, so I'm going to make a note of that. All right, once we've sized it and made sure that this harness will fit us, the next step to do is, what I like to do is, after I've inspected it, take my harness and approach it from behind, and put it on like you're putting a vest on. And you kind of swing it over your body, get it in place. Okay, feels pretty good. It's about my size. Make sure that you put your belt on and that your belt is nice and snug. Okay, fits good. Your leg straps, reach down between your legs, buckle them up, and these need to be fairly tight. Probably tighter than what you would want, because if you're walking around all day long in this harness and your leg straps are tight, you're going to feel it by the end of the day. You might have a little chafing or whatever. But if you don't keep them tight, what happens in a fall is you get hurt. You get hurt really bad. Once you've put on your leg straps, you need to check and see if they're good. And there's a couple of different ways of doing it. You can put your hand all the way in. If it slides all the way in and you make a fist and it's hard to come out, that means it's adjusted properly. Some people say put 2 fingers in. If 2 fingers fit in, that's good. That works also. Basically, they have to be fairly tight. This is your chest strap, and that goes across, and that has to be right about right about even with your pectoral muscles. I had it twisted. Now this is a little bit loose. So what I want to do is I'm going to want to take this and adjust this so it's a little bit tighter. The tighter your harness is in a fall, it will help you out. It won't hurt you as bad. If it's loose, your body's going to move even more than it needs to, and it's not going to feel good at all, and you might wind up in the hospital. Now that we have our harness on, we have our D-rings here for positioning. These are for a positioning device. What the positioning device is a set, is like three hooks, two locking snap hooks on a chain with another locking snap hook where you can in an elevated position, you can lean back in your harness and work comfortably. It's not your primary fall protection, it's just for positioning, just for comfort. Your D-rings on your back should be right about where they are on me here, just about between your shoulder blades to be adjusted properly. I have to admit, I cheated a little bit and I adjusted this harness before I started. Some of these adjusters where you pull your straps in here can take a couple of minutes to get them adjusted, and if you come on the job and you receive your harness and you're spending time adjusting it, sometimes people get nervous and they want to rush. So, and I would have been a little nervous on camera also. So pretty much this is the correct way to don a full body harness. Now what we're going to do is we're going to break up into groups. We're going to go out into the shop and we're going to meet at the fall protection area, and each one of you is going to grab a harness and make sure that it's the right size, and I will monitor you and evaluate you and